What's up YouTube, and welcome to another E24 6 Series project video. Today we're going to be working on my 1984 BMW 635 CSI. I've shown this car in a few other videos, and I do believe this will apply to at least all the E28 based E24 models, but actually I think it's going to apply to all of them for the full model run of 1976 to 1989. The other thing is that this fix will work for several other vintage BMW models. It looks like the part that we're going to replace was used on all the way back to the 2002 model, as well as E9s, E23s, E24s, E28s, E30s, you name it. Pretty much any of the 70s and 80s era BMWs this should apply to. So what we're going to be doing today is replacing a gasket seal on the windshield wiper arm that I just learned existed. My car was recently judged at an E24 event, and it actually lost a point due to this gasket being deteriorated on my car. But now I actually see the functional aspect of it as well. And so basically, these are your wiper arms here, and you should not be able to lift up on them with any play whatsoever. I've already replaced the one on this one, and so you can see it's very solid. I'm lifting, nothing's moving at all. However, here is the passenger side wiper, and I have not done this one yet, and I want you to watch what happens at the base of the wiper arm when I lift on it. So you see that gap it's making? It's actually lifting out quite a bit. The reason is because underneath this metal plate and this bolt, there's actually meant to be a rubber seal between this and the sheet metal of the car. They completely deteriorate over time is what I've learned, and that's why I didn't even know it was missing, is that it's dissolved so much it's buried inside, or it's just completely gone due to weather. So we're going to go ahead and replace it today. This is the part that you need. I'll get the part number up on the screen here for you. Like I said, this interchanges with several vintage BMW models. The model or part number is 616-113-53754. I'll pause that on the screen for you if you want to screen cap that. And what we're going to do, BMW calls this a damper ring, by the way. We're going to use, as we've seen in previous rubber seal videos, we're going to use our good old friend hot Dawn-soaked water just to loosen up the seal a little bit before install. It is pretty stiff when you get it out of the package, so this will help in just making it a little bit more pliable so that we can install it. But I'll give you a view of what the damper ring looks like. It's pretty simple. Get some of the soap out of it. It's got a little channel in between, so again, that fits between the sheet metal and the car itself, and so that will be instrumental in how it fits to the car. We're gonna let that soak for just another minute or so, and we're gonna go ahead and start disassembling the wiper arm. So it's pretty simple. It has two bolts. One is a 13 millimeter and one is a 22 millimeter. 22 millimeter being a little bit more of an unusual socket size, so you may wanna get one of those if you don't have one of those already in your kit. But the 13 millimeter is just for the top bolt here. You're gonna lift a little plastic cover up on the wiper arm. I've already done so on this one. And we're just going to simply ratchet that until it comes loose. This one is rather loose already, as I can tell. So we'll just go ahead and pull off our bolt. And as that comes off, I'm just gonna set that on this handy tray that BMW has included on the 6 Series, basically because they knew you'd be under the hood all the time. And the wiper arm actually should pretty simply lift off. There it goes. This one's a little bit more finicky than the other one. But you can see how that mounts. It's just a simple hole there under the cap, and we just set that to the side. So that's out of the way. And then now you're going to see really the guts of your wiper assembly. If you're freaking out, like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to undo wiper plumbing or unhook metal brackets underneath or the wiper motor, don't panic. It actually isn't that complicated as far as what we need to touch today. So you'll see there is an arm here to the assembly. There is a 22 millimeter nut here that we need to remove. And underneath that is a metal plate, and underneath that is the deteriorated rubber bracket that we're going to remove. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my 22 millimeter socket on there. I don't even need the socket wrench. These things are so loose, and I think it's because that rubber seal's deteriorated that it's just allowed a lot of play in the nut. So with that, I'm going to gently take that off. Lift that out. And you also have this metal plate underneath. What I noticed on mine, I'm not sure, my car is a dark blue, and it looks like this either was painted body color or it was painted black. Either way, a lot of the paint has rubbed off. If you want to make this look a little bit better, I'm sure you could rattle can that black, bring it back to life, or just order a new one of these as well whenever you order the kit. I didn't think that far ahead when I ordered my parts. I didn't realize I was going to need to replace these as well, so I'll leave it up to you. So I'm going to set that on my tray there as well. And then just the other thing I want to call out, I ran into this with the other side. It's kind of up to you as far as what you want to do, but there is another metal ring that is right here. You can kind of see that moving around a little bit. And it actually was a little bit finicky getting that back into place to reinstall, but you may want to take it off if you like. Also, I noticed that piece is very weathered as well, and so if you want to order that piece whenever you're doing this refurbishment, feel free to replace that as well. Again, I didn't think that far ahead, so I'm going to have to reuse it. So at this point, this is what you would see where the rubber would be kind of blocking off everything else right now, but it isn't because mine is completely deteriorated. This one is actually even more farther gone than the other one is, and this should give you again an idea of just some of the play that's in that arm because that rubber seal isn't there in the way. So what we're going to do is I've got just a fine pair of small needle nose pliers. And I already did this on the other one. I may not even need to so much with this one, but I'm just going to kind of poke in here and clean up around the area, just making sure there's no more of the old rubber seal that is in the way. This one, like I said, is actually much cleaner than the other side was. The other one had a lot of just little deteriorated chunks that were down in there. You also might want to put down a cloth just to protect your paint, just as you're kind of poking around here with metal on metal, which isn't always ideal. But this one actually looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here and just kind of prep the surface for the rubber. I want to have it nice and clean. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our new damper ring, once we get it all nice and clean, and that is actually going to go inside of there, believe it or not. That's got to go inside the metal there. So we want it to be very nice and clean. It is a pretty tight fit, like I said with the other one, but you know, like I say, once you soften it up with some of the soap, it will become a little bit more pliable. What I found worked best on the other one is get about half of it in and then just use just something with a nice edge that's not going to damage the paint. I've got like a plastic razor blade and use that to just kind of work around the rubber as it fits into the hole. So I may not be able to do that part on camera. It's probably going to be more of a two-hand type of project, but I will give you an update once I come back, kind of clean and prep the surface for the rubber, and then I'll show you where it's at with the install. Hang on one second, we'll come back in a few minutes. All right, so just giving an update here, our damper ring is now installed and it actually went in pretty easily. Just again, you'll get about half the ring in with an initial push and then you'll need to kind of work around it with, you know, a tool, whatever it is that you try to push the rest of the rubber back in. But it is nice and in place. It was kind of satisfying as soon as that popped in, the whole centerpiece like popped up like it knew it was right where it needed to be. And if you start lifting on this, you can't. It's nice and firm thanks to the damper ring doing its job. So again, we're going to start reassembly. It's just pretty simple. You've got that single ring that, like I alluded to before, probably should be replaced on mine. It's a little bit beat up, but that sits on top of the damper ring. And then we're going to use our 22 mil bolt to sit on top of that. Probably tighten that one down a little bit more, and then we'll put the wiper arm back on. So give me a minute just to get all that put back into place, but we are pretty much at the finish line with this side. The driver's side is already done, so overall this project can be done in probably 30 minutes or less once you kind of get the technique down. So just giving an update there, and I'll give you one more update once we have it all installed. All right, everything bolted up nice and easily. We got our 22 mil bolt on there, put the wiper arm back on, and the 13 millimeter bolt on the top. Now we're simply going to put the decorative cover back on, and that is all back into place. While you're at it, I went ahead and put new wiper blades on here about a week ago, but you might want to do that just to have everything nice and new and refreshed and ready to earn points at your next judged competition, or just having a nice firm wiper arm like I said before. This one you can tell there's no wobble in it whatsoever now, so kind of a nice thing just to give this car a little rejuvenation. It's nearly 40 years old, you might as well treat it a little bit. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day or night, wherever you are.